I'll be yours.
3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 7th podcast of the Ramble. We have Jack McCall coming in today. Jack McCall, let's do this, baby. What's happening, Jack? All good?
All good.
Great to have you on the podcast. We're going to get right into it, man. Your semi-pro days, dude.
Yeah, it was great days.
Yeah.
It was a process, long process. I had to try out for the team 3 times in order to
That's
actually
crazy.
make the team on the 3rd try.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed it though. I loved the motivation of not being able to make it the first 2 times,
Mhm.
and just to keep striding forward to be able to play at that level. I really wanted it. I really wanted to play for that team. I knew some of the players already from the past tryouts.
Yeah.
So
So did that make the tryouts a little bit easier for you, or you needed to still kind of fit in some way?
I didn't really focus too much on the players.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't really want to bond with anybody until I knew that I was on the team and that the players that were there, I was have to bond with them.
It's weird because there's always 2 players. There's always like players that want to fit in right away, which would definitely be where that kind of like that category kind of falls into me. And then there's other players that like they need to make it first, and they want to make it, and then they kind of get into knowing the players. But did you find that beneficial to you, like that you took your time, kind of slowed down, and then got into it with the coaches, with the players?
Yeah, no, I focus more on how I play.
Yeah.
I want to stay focused and not get distracted about this player could be my teammate or not. I focus on that I can show what I can do, and once I'm on the team or once the practices are scheduled, once it's there, I can meet anybody and talk to anybody and start that.
That's tough, man. Especially, doing it 3 times. Kind of like I feel like the second time around when you don't make it, people usually quit. Like right off the bat, sometimes the first time. Like a lot of players, sometimes after the first tryout, they're like, "Oh, okay, I'm done." And then you came back a second time, which takes some guts, it takes some balls to do. And then to get rejected again and then go back a 3rd time. What made you want to go back a 3rd time and say, "Hey, look, I'm going to give this another shot"?
The motivation gave me. The first time I went, I only made it to day 3.
Yeah.
I wasn't on that final list of players after day 3.
Yep.
The tryouts are 3 days long, and after day 3, I wasn't on that list, so I wanted to keep trying.
Yeah.
The second tryout, I made it past 3 days, to day 3, even made it past to the point where, okay, these are the players who we want, but I didn't receive an offer. Didn't get that email saying.
After day 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Some players would get that email, some players didn't. If you got that email, you're basically, do you want to accept this offer or play with us?
Yeah, or not.
If you didn't get it, you didn't make it. So I knew I was improving.
Yeah.
Just by making it to day 3 and going a little bit beyond that. And then I saw the tryouts again. I actually flew out to Miami before that tryout.
I remember you told me that. I was like, dude, this guy's crazy.
Team.
It's like, this guy's crazy. But it's good to expand your options, though, because you never know.
I didn't know. I didn't know if I was going to make it for NPA or if I would have to go play in Miami. Miami was different. It wasn't. I don't think it was organized too well. I feel like
in terms of like the training sessions and stuff, or like
it was an hour long.
The actual structure of the club.
No, I think the structure was great.
Yeah.
I think it was just an hour long, one day, and there was way too many people trying out. So I don't think it was enough to see. Compared to Allentown, they give you a really good opportunity, a span time of how many days you get, and just for you to show what you have.
I never got that environment of. It was funny that you said 3 days, and I was like chuckling a little bit because you never see that anymore. Like I had 2 players. You remember Brandon and Tyler? They were at the indoor sessions, and it's crazy. They went to a tryout for the life of me. I can't remember. I think it was like FC Copa, something like. I think it was FC Copa. I'm pretty sure it was. Where they had 1 day of tryouts, and there was like over 80 kids with 2 coaches. So like honestly, how are you going to know which players are good, which players are bad? Which new players that came in, you're like, oh, okay, this guy has talent, or not. And unfortunately, they didn't take him because of the fact I think they already have their teams made up in their minds already. Like they're like, oh, okay, the returning players are coming. We're I'm like a Jose Mourinho type right now. If I say something, I might get in trouble. But I'm gonna say it anyways because this is the Ramble. I don't care. I don't care. But I think it's a money thing. I think it's a money thing where they bring in so many people and they charge people for tryouts and they're like, we have our team set, but we want money for our club. So they bring in 80 people and they don't really care about the other people. They just take their known players and the rest of them are cash checks. It is what it is, but it sucks that's the way it has to be. So it's nice that Allentown gave you that opportunity.
Yeah, it is. And I appreciate it all.
Yeah.
I think once I made that third tryout, I felt accomplished because I didn't give up on what I wanted to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
And the environment was great. The sessions were as professional as they could be.
What was the structure of the sessions? I'm curious. You know, I am, man. I always like to dig into that stuff. So, like, what was the structure?
I'm not gonna give too much away just because you never know who's watching.
Yeah, that's true.
We always have fitness one day a week.
Yep.
And 3 days out of training. One was fitness and playing. The rest was technical drills.
Yeah.
And working our way up. But that fitness definitely helped us a lot for our stamina and being fit to be able to play at that level.
You need it. You definitely need it at that level.
And when it came to practices, we were all serious. We were all serious about practicing. And
yeah.
We had our funds. We worked hard as a team, and we did well in our season. Didn't get much playing time, but we still, as a team, you play well, you work hard, and then you will get seen somewhere.
So you went from semi-pro. We're gonna try to take it all the way back, and I'm talking like childhood days. Like what got you into the sport? Like what made you kind of just fall in love with the game?
So I was born here in the United States. My family's obviously from Guatemala.
Yeah.
My parents were born over there, and soccer's a big thing over there. We might not be the best at it, but when it comes to
I'm from DR, man. I mean, it's
when it comes to playing soccer, my parents knew. I always had a soccer ball on my feet from a young age. I was sleeping with it, with a soccer ball next to me. I was always with it, kicking the ball. They knew instantly from the beginning I wanted to play soccer.
Yeah, you would love it, yeah.
And I knew my dad would love the fact that I'd play. I don't think he knew how long it would last. He probably would have thought he might do this for a couple of years and then quit. But no, I kept pushing. I loved it. I think is when I hit middle school is when I actually told myself, this is what I want to do. I want to dream out of this. This is what I want to do for my life. And
that's big to say in middle school, man. Mm-hmm. It's big to say in middle school. Usually people like sophomore year, they'll say that. Freshman year, they'll say that in high school. But to say that in middle school that you actually want to continue that. And it's a rough road. It's a rough road. And then you also played club as well.
Yeah.
But you played one season of high school. So talk about the club side first a little bit. How did club go?
Club was great. I started off playing in Reddington, close to home. And I started off on a B team. Slowly, little by little, I started working myself up to an A team.
Yeah.
And I knew a lot of the players from the A team because, we were all friends. We all went to the same school. Mm-hmm. So there was that connection. I wasn't worried about going into a new club. As much as everybody's uncomfortable going to a new club, I felt comfortable going into a new club.
Smooth transition, yeah.
It was smooth. So we played well. I think after time, I did switch a lot. There were times where I did want to switch because I didn't like the level it was at.
Yeah.
It was competitive, but I felt like I wanted to work harder. Yeah. I wanted a little bit more competition. Mm-hmm. But I was still young, so I was still thinking of a lot of things. I had to make sure everything was processed correctly through my head, and the time was there. There was a time where I did play baseball in the middle of it. And as crazy as
I'm just finding out about this guy's like literally a month ago. He told me, he was like, I play baseball. I was like, oh. Yeah. But I guess so does a lot of Spanish people do. It's a big culture for us. So it's.
I played baseball for 3 years.
Yeah.
I did it because I wanted to be in shape. Mm-hmm. I didn't want to just sit around and do nothing. I had to make a decision at some point either baseball or soccer.
Yeah.
Because the scheduling was I had baseball practice, and right when I was done, I had to go right to soccer.
It's the biggest thing that a lot of people deal with. Is
So
like whether
I
you're
had
going,
to make a decision
yeah.
where I wanted to go, and I knew soccer was one because I obviously grew up with it, and the training that I did was not the same as what it is now. So my dad would grab a sock, put rocks or sand in it, tie it around my leg to hold weight, and that's how I got power into my shots.
Yeah.
It was all old school. Nothing crazy going to a camp or classes and doing 10 weeks of this or that. It was all old school, all at home. I loved it. It helped me improve my shot, get stronger, and made me be able to work on my own more. So I love working old school more than new school.
So did you like club better or did you like high school better? Which is a huge debate now. Everybody's like, whether you want to play for high school or do you want to – and some clubs are like restricting players from playing high school. And I'm talking like you have to be at least, it's academy level, it's MLS Next, it's whatever DA got replaced with now. For the life of me, it's like escaping me. But at that level, they restrict you from playing high school at times. Just because of injuries, just because they want you to be healthy for the season, et cetera, et cetera. It makes sense, but for me, like there's a lot of things that high school is, good for. Obviously, I'm sure as everybody knows, that there's some things that high school isn't good for, but I feel like playing with your childhood friends, growing up and kind of going through high school, playing the sport that you love, you can't get that anywhere else. And club is kind of just mixed around.
Yeah. I only played 1 year of high school.
Yeah.
I only played my freshman year. And it was great. I mean, it was different, definitely from club. But if I were to pick one in specific, if I were to pick one out of the two, club or high school, I'd go club soccer.
Yeah.
As much as you have a better chance of getting seen at high school level, you would have to be really good to be able to play freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah.
And that's just a lot, with school and soccer at the same time. Club soccer, I focused on it more just because there was more. I was traveling more. I felt more comfortable with the team I was with already, and I just didn't feel like I wanted to focus more on school than soccer. I didn't want to do soccer and school at the same time.
Yeah.
I wanted to focus on graduating high school
first before you got into soccer.
Soccer, and I just stick with club soccer.
Wow.
Until came a day where my last club we had to all disperse and
that's the worst day of my life.
Figure out where we had to go.
I think it was Carteret was my last team that I played for club, and it's like it's a shock because like after a while these guys at your club team, obviously, like so it becomes almost like the same thing as like high school. Only some kids you don't go to the same school with, other kids you do, but you get to develop that real bond. I did it both. I did high school and club, and so like that last day, I was like, wow, my future is either playing for college, which I knew wasn't going to happen because of my knee and my certain lack of talent and abilities. I think I could play maybe D3 if I was healthy. I don't think I could play D2 or D1. But that last day, it's a shock. We're like, oh, wow, it's over. Yeah. Like playing with your friends, like, that whole process, that whole thing's over. So it was a sad day for me. But that's awesome that you never did high school, which is weird because I thought that players that didn't do high school would be upset, like that they missed that. But I also get why you did club more so, and there's a lot of politics that go on with high school. I'm going to get into a hot topic, man. I can't bash high schools because I might get hired, so you never know. I'm not going to say anything. But Camden, man, after club, you got up, and I think the first time I met you was DTS.
Yeah.
Rolled up DTS. I think it was me, Dylan, my brother, Khalid, one of my good friends, and I think that was it. We rolled up, and we saw you playing. I don't know how we got in the same team, but I think it was like so you were playing. I guess like we all kind of were sitting on the side waiting for the next game.
Yeah.
And I think, that's when we jumped in with you. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, this kid's got something. And then everybody just shouting at him, and they're calling him Sterling and stuff. And I was like, why the hell are they calling him Sterling? I was like, I don't see it. And then when he's running down the wing, you're like, all right, I could see the resemblance, the running down the wing, fast pace, the cut-ins. the quick movements on and off the ball. So it was fun to watch. And then that's when I kind of dragged you into playing. For me in my indoor season, we had a high school indoor season kind of thing. My brother and his best friend set it up. And I was like, why not? Let's get Jack into this, see what he can do. And I kind of like really enjoyed how you played, your energy, your communication with the players, because you were a little bit older. So your communication with the players and leading them tactically and, anything technically that they needed to work on in the game you did. I was like, dude, this player's got something, man. I was like, not only as a player, but I thought in the future, I told you this before, I was like, this guy could be a future coach. And then that's where Camden came in, man. Out of all things, man. It was shocking, dude. You want to tell it?
Yeah.
You go ahead, man.
I was actually living in PA when this first happened.
Yeah.
I moved out to PA because I was playing semi-pro. I wanted to be closer to the team. And it was crazy. I was working a lot. I was working at Amazon, not 40 hours. I was working at Amazon.
But it felt like 40 hours.
It felt like 40 hours. It's probably because I don't drive yet because of my medical history in the past. But I was riding my bike 40 minutes and doing a 12-hour shift from 1:20 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then doing the same thing back 4 days in a row. So that helped me with my staying fit, just riding my bike up and down. But I think one day I called you and I asked you how you were doing in your season. You told me the season was going great.
Yep.
That you guys were succeeding. Everything was going well. Did over here you were telling that you needed more players.
Yeah.
And that's where you kind of lured me into you should come play college. And I was thinking about it. I honestly had to think about it a little bit because one, I haven't been to school for 3 years.
Mm.
That's after the fact that I didn't go to school once I graduated. And I didn't know what I wanted to go for. I didn't want to go just because it was school. I wanted an actual major. That's when I realized I could do personal trainer.
Yep.
And then I stuck to that. I know we tried to get me to go into the fall, but it was
brutal.
by the time we were.
I don't know what I was on.
The time
There's
we
no
were
time.
talking about it.
There's no time. Yeah.
Time we were talking about it, there was no time. It was been a miracle if we got in there, and I think it died down for a little bit.
It died.
It died.
It completely died. We didn't really talk, and I was like, it might not happen. It may happen, but I was like, let's let the fall season kind of go, and we'll see what happens.
And I reached out again to you, I believe, towards November.
December. Yeah, it was November-ish. I got the call.
I called you back again to see how the season went, and you told me how it went. Everything went well, and I was kind of, I don't know if I told you, but I was stalking Cammy kind of.
You did tell me that. Yeah, a lot of people told me that.
I was talking to see how you guys were doing record-wise, and you guys were winning games.
Mm-hmm.
The goals they were coming. I think there were times you guys scored more goals.
I wish.
But,
I hope this season. I really do. Yeah.
I kept watching it, and once I saw you guys made semis, I just knew it was something I wanted to reach at.
Be a part of,
knowing that this team is committed to reaching that goal to win state and play at a higher level after that.
They are determined. I'm not gonna lie. The first game I watched from them, I was like, where do I sign, man?
Yeah.
I was like, immediately. I mean, when I met Matt as well, I was like, okay, this guy is top. And then kind of just seeing the team, how they train, how they operate, it kind of fell in line to what I loved. I'm not going to tell you any tactics, guys, but I'll keep that to myself. But it is a possession-based style of play. I was like, sign me up, dude. Like that's what I love. That's what I'm in for. The philosophy's aligned, the ideas aligned. The players very talented, very diverse. And I think it's a blessing just learning from all these different cultures. Like we have Italians, we have Peruvians, Ecuadorians, some Austrians, Zimbabwe, one kid from Zimbabwe. So I was like, it's insane how much culture there is in our team. And I'm glad I kind of just thought to myself, like all those ideas were running because Matt was telling me that he needed players. Because when we first started, we only had 6 players in the tryout. And I was looking and I was like, there's no way. Like, we can't compete with 6 players. Like, there's no way. And this is in preseason. And the season starts and it's still not, it didn't look like a unified team. It looked like it was going to be a rough season. a build-up season into next season to get us where we want it to be. And I was thinking in the back of my head, I was like, what players would be like committed? What players are good enough? What players have the hunger and desire to be national champions one day, hopefully this season? And I was like, shoot. I was like, Jack might be into this, man. I was like, Jack might really be into this this idea, this belief that we got going on here, this culture. And that's when I was like, you know what, let me slip this in and see what happens and see what he says. And eventually in the spring, that's what happened.
Yeah,
well, yeah, ending of fall into the spring. That's exactly what happened.
January came around and we went to school, and
yeah.
once we went to school and classes were set, I was like, all right, it's done.
It's a ball.
It's green light. Go ahead, and boom. Now we're doing what we got to do. School's going great. It's definitely different because I haven't been in school in 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's weird to kind of get into that process again.
The adulting life.
Yeah.
The adulting life.
I love it. I love it. The fact that I get to practice, I'm working out on the side, and it's still hard because you start to work and pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to focus on that too, not just school.
There's always a balance that you got to find. Yeah.
It's life. I mean, my parents raised me to be able to pay my bills.
Yeah.
To learn the adult life early, so you're not struggling in the past.
Mm-hmm.
I did struggle in PA, so I went out there. I learned. I struggled.
It's always an experience.
And,
yeah.
Now
you learn from it.
Now I know. Now I know how it is. So now I can see why people always say when you tell them a cheap rent price, they give you that look. They give you that look, so I can see why.
Like it's cheap, but is it?
So it adds up.
It adds up. And now my prediction was right. My prediction was right. You did end up being a coach.
Yes.
With the youth level, what is it? 1 and 3 year olds.
Yeah, I coached at Branch Street Sports Complex.
Yeah.
I did from ages between toddlers up to 6-year-olds.
For the life of me, I don't know how you have the patience for it. We talked about this many times. I don't have. I can coach any age. I'm very good at coaching any age. Do I like coaching young ones? No. It's just the sad reality of it. It's because of the fact that they are so. It's the fact that they have so many things going on. It's not their fault, obviously, but they don't love the sport because it's a phase. Like, many of them are doing like 8 different sports. They're there to have fun. Yeah. And I'm a person, knowing my personality, I like to have fun, but I also like to instill the winning mentality and winning things. Playing well and developing players is really, really important for me. But also that winning mentality is also important for me. So you don't get that with youth. You have to develop youth and kind of nurture them to get up to that level. So you need patience, which I'm looking to find your secret because I don't have it. So what kind of did you have to work at getting patience, or did you feel like it was just in you that you had patience?
It was in me from the beginning.
Yeah.
I love being around kids.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing these kids and they're there to have fun. It's what I love to see. I've had kids who look at me and cry, straight up cry, because they don't know who I am.
Yeah.
And I've had maybe a week or two to turn that around and have a big smile on their face because they know me already. But I'm a total goofball when it comes to coaching young kids.
Yeah.
I am a goofball. Like, if you gave me a noodle and you were really shy,
yep.
and you didn't want to tag somebody because you don't know anybody, if I give you a noodle, I'd start being a goofball and tell you, come get me. You can't get me. Like, I'm too fast. You won't catch me. And then you have this big smile. You have that big smile on their face, and they're running after you. Once they get tagged, I'm just like exaggerating. I'm just like, oh, that hurt. Like, not too hard. Or fall to the ground. And like, oh, man, I got caught. I need a high five.
Yep.
I always did runs at the end of practice. I would give them every single kid. I would have sometimes 9 to 10 kids.
Mm-hmm.
I would give them a noodle. And I have a small space, like probably 10 by 10 field. And
for coaching those kids?
Yes.
Wow.
And,
wow. Welcome to America.
Maybe
Zero space.
Maybe a bit bigger, I'm not sure. But
yeah.
I'd give every single kid a noodle, and, I'd just run in circles. Mm-hmm. Me knowing I'm fast, it was fun because some of them would catch me, some of them were not. But I loved it. I'm a total goofball when it comes to coaching.
That's awesome. did you ever want to, like, is your heart set on younger kids and coaching and kind of developing, or do you want to transition into that a little bit more of, getting into tactical sessions, getting into developing a winning mentality, developing culture, managing more so than developing?
I love coaching little kids.
Yeah.
I would stick to that, but there is times where I do want to coach an older group, so I can actually show them what I've gone through.
Yeah.
And I've done that with my 5-6-year-olds. I give them a curriculum. I've had them do things I've done before. Some of them can do it really well. Some of them struggle, but towards the end, they are able to do it really well, where they learned it, and I know I taught them that. And that just makes me feel happy, no matter what age they are. If they're there to enjoy it, I'm going to teach it. I'm always going to teach it, no matter the age.
That's bold, man. I give it to you, man. That's not easy. Do you have like a way you structure your sessions for the little ones, or is it just kind of?
It's a bunch of games. It depends on the age group, and it depends on how long I've had them. Some of these kids I've had for 20 weeks.
That's a decent time, though. That's a decent time.
10 weeks to 20 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you create that bond with them. I think when I left to come here, my last day of work, last 2 days of work was it was rough for me because I didn't want to.
Emotional,
Yeah, I had a bond with a lot of these kids, and the parents, and everybody was nice. The coaching staff, everybody. I loved being there.
Yeah.
This is working 3 other jobs. I worked 4 jobs, 7 days a week, and the fact that I had the energy to be able to go out there and coach
it takes a lot out of you. Especially the young youth is not easy.
It's not.
To entertain you, like a butterfly will fly by and they'll be like, okay, butterfly. So
I've had kids cry.
Yeah.
And I've had to go over there and try to cheer them up. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But eventually.
How do you deal with that? You just kind of step away if they don't respond to you?
I try to go at first to see what I can do.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. If not, they'll go back to their parents and see if they can help. But mainly, I think what I'll try to do is I'll tell them I'll go with you. Like if they don't want to do an exercise, like, all right, let's go. Let's go do bunny hops together. Yeah. Let's do this together. Oh, no one's gonna tag you. Or you can't get me. Like, it's just you gotta act silly in order to get that smile back on their face.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. It's not easy.
Not a lot of coaches can do it. I think that's a true test. If you can coach little ones, chances are you're gonna become a pretty decent coach. Yeah. It's not easy. It really isn't. You have to obviously know soccer for the older ones, so you really know it. But if you have that kind of patience and you can deal with them in such a way, you'll be all right. You can handle pretty much anything. Like I know when like I do little ones and I go on to the older ones and like one is acting up or one is like not responding well or he's just having a bad day or they're screaming and yelling at each other. It makes it so much easier. Like my youth level stuff, in the back of my mind, I can handle the older ones a lot easier. Because, like it or not, I'm sure I developed some kind of patience. So it's just tough to do. I'm gonna give you 5 questions, Jack. We're gonna go rapid fire on this one. It's gonna be weird. We're gonna end it up like this. Favorite food, man?
Chicken breast with rice.
Chicken breast with rice?
Yes.
He made that yesterday, by the way. It's freaking banging. He's got to make that again. Second question, favorite team?
Depends.
Any team.
Any league?
Any team, yeah.
I stick to Barcelona a lot.
Barcelona?
Yep.
Yeah?
Hard.
Favorite player on Barcelona now? Tough.
Currently playing?
Currently, yeah.
Not playing.
Currently.
I'm going to stick with PK.
PK?
Yeah.
Favorite place of yours? Could be any place. Like a Spider-Man type thing. Like a place where you like, happy, sad, doesn't matter. Like a favorite place that you like to go to?
Soccer field.
Soccer field?
Yeah.
Nah, I figured. How did I not know that? Favorite thing to drink at Dunkin'?
I always have to have coffee before. Coffee. Iced coffee, cream, sugar, caramel. It may be the sweetest thing ever.
Diabetes in a cup, guys.
But I've actually started to think about a ritual.
Yeah.
I've always had an iced coffee before games.
Before games?
Yeah.
I need to have some.
I don't know.
I'm really bad before
It gives
games.
me
I don't
energy.
eat before games, so it's
It
bad.
always gives me energy.
Yeah. Oh, man. Jack, always a pleasure, man.
Pleasure.
7th episode. Thank you guys for watching. Follow us on Instagram. This will hopefully be put up today, so you guys will see it very, very soon. Thank you guys for watching. This is The Ramble. Jack, guys. Thank you very much, guys. Woo!